have to share it to my mother, so. Yeah, it's live.
Let's have a check. Yeah. Just wait for it to come up in my top right hand screen. I normally wait on.
Yes.
And I'm already in spectate mode, so that's good. Good evening everyone and welcome to TTML Division 5. We are here for round 8 of the championship. It's season 2 as we take in the Singapore Grand Prix from the Marina Bay Street Circuit. My name is James Sage and I'm going to be taking you through the action as your solo commentator here tonight. Yes, you might have heard another voice within the party before we just joined and did the formal introduction, and that's because we've got last week's race winner Jibby Storm here. Jibby Storm, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm looking forward to another solo commentary this week, but honestly, I think it's going to be a fantastic race. Let's just speak about last week, first of all. Belgium, of course, your second win, I think, in a row.
Third win.
Third win in a row. Apologies.
Yes.
I'll correct myself.
No problem.
Third win in a row. Last time out, of course, Silverstone, France, Silverstone, and Belgium, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
There we are. I know these things. Paid commentator's not getting fired tonight. Hopefully not. Anyways, how did you find that race? Because to us, certainly for me and Dan's point of view, it was really frustrating with all the safety cars.
It was very frustrating for me also. I find the race from last week very boring. If I have to say, all the safety cars go left and right with your steering wheel, warm up the tires. Yeah, was not fun.
Definitely not a fan. No, I wasn't a fan either. And I think our viewers weren't a fan last week either. It's fantastic to have you here. Looking forward to Singapore, obviously, tonight. A whole different track in question. Second longest track on the calendar. How do you think you're going to get on? Because you were saying to me, you've gone for a more aerodynamic setup in terms of 911 wings.
Yes, I have. I thought maybe gain some time into the corners, and yeah, not very long straights here, so hopefully it's okay.
I hope it is as well. I hope it's going to be a fantastic race, of course. I will let you do your final preparations before we get underway.
Okay. Yeah. Good interview. What the fuck? Good interviewing. Yeah. Good
You're very welcome. Hopefully you might be in here at the end of the race.
We will see.
We will see indeed. I'll let you get on.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
And that was Mr. Jibby Storm, who, of course, won last time out in Belgium. 3 wins in a row to his name, as I say, France, Silverstone and Belgium last time out. Now, before we begin, I have got to update everyone on last week. The stewards' reports have came out. Jeffrey and Nilsson, because the Jeffrey Nilsson incident deemed as a racing incident, Jeffrey didn't send his a POV, so he gets 5 penalty points. Incident 2 was between NSL Storm and Invictus. Storm not racing tonight, so his 10-second time penalty that he got with that collision with Invictus on the exit of Puon, that will be carried over to the next race, next week, of course, in Japan. Incident 3, Freak Ronk's penalty removal, because he crashed into the back of Maka under the safety car. That's not been removed, so that stands as it is. Mason Freak Ronk incident as well. That has been deemed a racing incident. Schmidtsky moves up as a result of that being deemed a racing incident, and he didn't get a penalty within the race director, so he's actually moved up to second, which I'll come into the permutations in just a second. Nellis and Day Miles have both got a qualifying ban here tonight. Now I can see certainly Day Miles is in the lobby. I'm not sure if Nellis is currently. I'll just flick through. Yeah, Nellis is not here currently, but they've been given a qualifying ban because they crashed out on purpose. Honestly, disgraceful behaviour, if I've got to put it lightly. Disgraceful behaviour from them two out on track. Crashing under the safety car is never what we want to show here in TTML, and unfortunately like that, they get a qualifying ban. You essentially meet your punishment, you don't reap the rewards out on track, I'm afraid. And also the final incident as well, the position changes. Schmidtski up to P2, Schumi P3, Mays P4 and Freak Ronk P5 as a result of the Belgium tie-up as the results. Jimmy Storm, of course, who we just interviewed there, out on top in Belgium last time out. Schmidtski second, Schumi in third. And of course, if you're wondering where Mr. Daniel Huggard is, and if you're wondering where a Division 4 stream is as well tonight, Daniel's not alongside me in the commentary box, I'm afraid. He's looking after his brother. I'm sure he'll be tuning in, though. And Division 4 not having a stream here tonight. Graham Chappell is ill, so he is not going to be commentating. Callboy not available either. Nobody else available in Division 4. I offered to do Division 4, but Division 5 takes priority, I think. And hopefully we're going to do a Justice out on track. Jimmy Storm, you need to select your car. Good job you have. Jimmy Storm does lead on the championship standings on 142 points. Mason second on 134 and Jack Roos in third on 117 points. Schmidtski fourth on 106. Invictus fifth on 86. Then Ranheim, Rock City, Sapmi King, Freak Ronk and Passels rounding off the top 10. And now we're about to get going here for qualifying at the Singapore Grand Prix. And this is a track, of course, 18 minutes worth of qualifying, 31 laps in question. And this was designated in 2008, the first race around here, of course, in Singapore. That was known as Crashgate, where Nelson Piquet, of course, crashed out coming out of turn 17. He brought out a safety car. It forced Alonso basically to win the race. And, of course, that spanned months' investigation as a result of that Crashgate. Hopefully we're not going to see any Crashgates out on track tonight, and certainly no Piquet-gate, Renault-gate, whatever you like to call it, out on track tonight. But we are, of course, under the bright night lights here in Singapore, 5 kilometres in distance, 156.9 kilometres in race distance, 3 DRS zones, could promote some overtaking, down towards turn 1, down towards turn 7, and 1 down towards turn 14 as well. I think we've got 15 or 16 drivers here tonight, which isn't a bad attendance at all. A couple of drivers missing, of course, for various reasons, but we are now getting into qualifying. And first of all, let's have a look at what the weather is going to be doing. And the weather currently within this qualifying session, as we now load in, is dry, which I'm very glad to report out on track tonight. And remember, if you are watching Miles and Jeffrey, Miles and Nellis, I should say, Miles certainly has got a qualifying ban, so he's got to retire, of course, in the pit lane. Doesn't want to set up out on a lap, but he has got a qualifying ban. Nellis not coming here. I'm not sure if that gets extended onto a race ban, but his qualifying ban will be served next week if he does attend. And apologies in advance as well. Division 4 not live here tonight, so you're only getting me on the channel as always. It's my third solo commentary of the night. I cannot, but the third solo commentary, I should say, as Rock City now comes out of his pit box. I think he was just waiting on his teammate there to possibly leave the pit lane in front of him. But the first man out on track is Torenheim, and Torenheim, of course, in the AlphaTauri. And looking through the standings, actually, Torenheim within the top. He hasn't actually scored many points, to be honest, in this AlphaTauri. Ranheim, of course, his teammate in behind has, and he's in 6th on 79 points. Torenheim hasn't scored any points. Certainly showing up on my standings anyways, but I'm sure he has scored points throughout the season. But we will see out on track. Looking at everyone as well, we could see a scenario where we have Division 2 last night, where drivers decided to pit on to put on a set of mediums for qualifying and didn't want to go for the fastest lap at all. We should have seen 31s last night, maybe even 30s last night. We might see that here tonight. I am not sure though. Don't judge a book by its cover at all. Ranheim now coming through turn 13 at the hairpin. Now running up towards turn 14 and towards the end of this middle sector. Really hope you guys are doing well tonight on this fine Friday evening here for TTML on League Racing TV. As always, Division 5 action for you. And it's just me in the commentary box. My voice is probably going to go by the end of tonight, so don't be surprised if you don't see me for League of Europe tomorrow. But let me have a look through the comments and see how you guys are doing. Ranheim now coming through the final couple of corners and looking in. Jibby Storm in the comment section. Plenty of support there for Jibby Storm. Plenty of support there for Jack Roos as well. Freak Ronk, don't rip a vocal cord. That's brilliant. I won't rip a vocal cord. Don't worry about that. Ranheim though, ran the final corner. Goodness me. Yeah, I'm going to have my work cut out. But Ranheim now through turn 2 and through turn 3. Miles, of course, retires in the pit lane, 7 of his qualifying ban, which is really good to see. And Ranheim now coming through turn 4. Another run down towards turns 5 through the kink, and then turn 6 at the end of the braking zone into the first sector split. And Ranheim through the first sector, 26.5 through the first sector. It's there or thereabouts where we've seen in terms of Gary's sort of time last night, of course. And now in towards turn 7. And then out through towards turn 8. Another left-hander out on track. Really tight-knit street circuit this here in Singapore. So now Ranheim runs down towards the Singapore thing. Used to be a chicane, of course. They got rid of it a couple of years ago to try and promote a little bit of overtaking. We certainly saw a good move last night. I think it's Noisy, if I'm not mistaken, getting the move done in the AlphaTauri. Ranheim now through turn 13. And then on the run towards turn 14 and towards the end of the middle sector. Spacey passes our camera shot there. And now runs with a 103.4 middle sector. He's used up about half of his ERS on this lap so far. Not really going to be an ERS usage track, to be honest, in terms of the race. You can save up quite a lot of ERS and try and manage the tyres at the same time. Ranham now coming through turns 18 and 19 underneath the grandstand. Of course, 23 turns. Spa come round this track, of course, here in Singapore. It's a sparse, open track at some points, but very tight towards the wall there. Ranheim now around the final corner, comes across the line. 35.7 is the time that everyone has got to beat. We've got Mays there on a lap, as Torenheim goes a second off him. So Ranheim, Torenheim, the two Heims out there on top, first and second, as we near the 5-minute mark in qualifying. Mays looking really quick though, coming through 2021. And now through towards turns 22 and 23. I think this will be the fastest time of the night so far. Mays across the line. What does the commentator know? He goes second, 135.8, only a tenth off. Jack Roos through the first sector. He just came off on a lap. Jeffrey's up in the first sector. Nilsson coming now around the final corner. Let's see what the man can do. Sapmi King going 5th. Bart back, of course, here tonight as well. He's just gone into 7th now with Nilsson's improvement up to 137.6. Jibby Storm, there's our championship leader, 103.2 in the middle sector. If that's anything to go by, he's currently on for the quickest time out on track. And Jibby Storm, of course, with these 911 wings that he's running, trying to prioritise the aero rather than the speed down through the corners. And Jibby Storm is going to try and master the track. That was very close to the wall. Goodness me. Through turn 19, through turn 20. I don't think he's happy with that. He might have backed off. That was very, very nice and clean through there, though. And now Jibby Storm through the final corner. Comes across the line. He's backed off slightly across the line. 36.3. I think we'll see a big improvement from him as we go through the session. Jeffrey, I think, is going to be next across the line. He's on a set of medium compound of tyres. The only runner currently on a set of medium, Schmitsky, 37.5. Jeffrey, though, will go quicker. 37.1, he goes 300s ahead of Sapmi King. Quite a few drivers, though, getting their lap times in, as we didn't see, of course, last night in Division 2. But Jack Roos now coming through turn 21 again. And now through turns 22 and 23, Jack Roos still within championship contention. Across the line, and he goes 4th ahead of Invictus. Nice lap there by Jack Roos, 36.1. That is pretty much the early part of qualifying done. Through the Singapore thing as we ride on board with Silas. But Freak Ronk is ahead of him out on track as we go on board with Passels, I think, by mistake. Freak Ronk now coming towards turn 14. Currently on an out lap, as you can see to the left-hand side of your screen. But there's Ranheim out on top, Mays second, Rock City third. So AlphaTauri, Mercedes filling out the top 3 currently out on track. And Freak Ronk is going to prepare up for his lap. Everyone, I think, will come into the pit lane. So we'll focus on Freak Ronk, we'll focus on Salas as well. I think just get out of the way of his teammate there in the middle sector, through the final sector there. Now Freak Ronk, who, yes, I'm not going to rip my vocal cords out here tonight. I hope not, anyways. Comes around the final corner to start on lap. And this is on a set of medium compound of tyres, of course. Down in towards turn 1. Just missed the apex there slightly. Through turn 2. Tries to prioritise the run through turn 3. Takes a very wide line coming out of turn 3. And that is too wide because he's just invalidated on a lap. Which is unfortunate for Freak Ronk. And he's invalidated on that lap time. Silas there in 15th. He is on the lap. He's clean through turn 3. Now up on the uphill rise through turn 4. Of course, this is a street circuit. Oh, crouch the wall to the left-hand side there, Silas. If you're wondering where Division 4 is here tonight, by the way, on League Racing TV for TTML Division 4, there is no stream for Division 4. Unfortunately, Graham Chappell is ill as Silas runs wide, coming out of turn 6, I should say, then through turn 7. Yeah, so Graham Chappell is ill, sadly. Callboy not available either. I did I did put my services forward for Division 4, and then you wouldn't have had a stream with Division 5. So it is going to be, it was going to end up the worst of both ways, to be honest, because one division wouldn't have had a live stream. We've chosen to do Division 5 just because we've been getting better views on this for Division 5 than for Division 4. Nothing against the commentators or anything like that, it's just how it was, and that's why we made the decision to stream Division 5 instead of me going over to Division 4 for the night and commentating on a new group of guys. Silas has picked up front wing damage, by the way. Left side end plate damage, as you can see on that car. Shritsky, I think, has just gone up into 8th. He came across the line, they improved, 36.8. 3 lap all medium, so he's clearly going for a bit of a race run out on track. We're still right on board with Silas. This is still a clean lap. Hasn't invalidated so far, but because of his front wing damage, it's too much as he now comes into the pit lane. And Silas is in. Probably would have been the slowest of the night, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Pascal's currently on the 38.6. I think he would have been slower than that. Runheim, though, has just started off on a lap. Our current pole setters, we are halfway through qualifying here in Singapore. Really hope you are enjoying your Friday night. Normality, of course, has now reached us once again here in Division 5. As Runheim now comes through turn 4. See if he can improve. 35.7 should be quite an easy time to improve on, I think. As now Runheim will try and push. He's got a McLaren ahead of him, which will be Nilsson, I think, on an outlap, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. The German just in front of him. And at a really tiresome point on the track. Oh, and he gets in the way. Nilsson gets in the way. It's not the first time we've seen that this season either. Runheim's got damage, left side end plate damage, and Nilsson, to be honest, he should have just kept the throttle down, went down the escape road and then broke. It's as simple as that. And Runheim, I was just about to say, I was on the cusp of saying it's very difficult to overtake at that point of the circuit when you've got a car in front of you on an outlap, and that is why you have got to get out the way, especially around a tight-knit street circuit here in Singapore. Nilsson might be just in the bad books for that one. Runheim is still continuing on a lap. It's so unfortunate, I think. I'm sure Nilsson will apologise to Runheim, I'm sure. But that's not what you like to see. And driving standards, of course, took a hit last week in Belgium. If you didn't tune into Belgium, don't. Just don't watch it at all. It was, I'll just tell you now, 6 safety cars. That's all you've got to know, really. Torenheim coming through the middle sector split, 3 tenths up. Purple through the middle sector. Right on board with Runheim's teammate, of course, and Torenheim looking now to try and get in towards the top 5. Jimmy Storm's only 4 tenths ahead of him, and Victor's 4 tenths ahead of him as well. As now Torenheim comes through, turns 18 and 19 underneath the grandstand, and comes through there very nicely indeed. Then through turns 20 and 21. And again, looking really good through there, getting very close to the wall to the right-hand side. And that is very flat out through there, goes across the line. Really nice car control, didn't improve him up any positions, but he's now within the 136.3, so we've got 3 drivers in amongst the 36.3s out on track. I think we've got Satmi King on a lap. Oh, he's lost his front wing. Satmi King has lost his front wing. I'm important and I know it, I guess, with that. Satmi King is now coming through the final couple of corners. Jeffrey has just started up on a lap as well, and we've got Rock City on a lap as well, so we'll go to Rock City. 5 tenths up. Looking to try and improve ahead of Runheim. Oh, goes very wide. He was saying earlier on that he's looking forward to the challenges of Singapore. And Rock City across the line. Oh, and he goes quickest. 5 tenths improvement there on Runheim's time. 8 tenths improvement overall. Really good lap there from Rock City. Is it the time to beat? I doubt it. Invictus is on a lap. He's 2 tenths up through the first sector. Through the middle sector, he's 6 tenths up. So now Invictus has got to find about half a second in this final sector to try and improve ahead of Rock City. Not impossible, considering we've seen Invictus's qualifying so far this season. It's been absolutely sublime, and that was so close to the wall coming out of turn 17. Through 18, through 19. And then towards 20 and 21. Just clouts the wall there to the left-hand side, but trying to prioritise as much track as possible. Oh, and he spins it coming out the final corner. He's still going to be on a valid lap here around the final corner. Invictus, without that spin, he did improve, 35.9, and without the half spin, he got cost at least half a second, I think, as a result of that. So imagine he would have improved half a second, it still would have been slower than Rock City. But Invictus 4th, 35.9. As long as he can put another lap in, that'll be fantastic to see. There's a yellow flag coming into the pit lane. I think that is Torenheim coming back into the pit lane. Runheim is back out there on an out lap. Free Gronk through the final corner on a lap, and we've got Jeffrey on a lap as well, and he's down on his time. He now comes back into the pit lane. Jeffrey currently in 9th, 37.1. Miles, of course, if we are just tuning in, did have a qualifying ban. Who was that man? That just appeared up on my screen. Goodness me. Bart just starting up on a lap, or needing to start up on a lap. And we've also got Jibby Storm out there on a lap as well, I believe. He's through the middle sector. Salas is the one through the final sector. Let's see what Jibby Storm can do. On a set of mediums. That's wide. Now across the Anderson Bridge section. Through 11, 12, and then through 13. Yellow flag's just ahead of him. Is a McLaren in the middle sector. Now about me, Nilsson. The Jibby Storm, coming through this middle sector split, is down by about 5/10 on his time. He did set that time, of course, on a set of soft compounder tyres. But watch, because he backed off on that time, if I'm not mistaken, through the final sector. So this should be an improvement, possibly, from Jibby Storm as we see him out on track. That's Invictus getting out of the way. He's obviously, I think, run out of fuel. Jibby Storm now coming through turns 18, 19. Looking really good through there. Singapore, of course, 2008. Oh, as Jibby Storm invalidates, coming through 2021. And coming back into the pit lane. There's 4 minutes left. Come back into the pit lane. He's not going to make it around for another lap, I don't think. And Jibby Storm is going to have to cut it fine. It's about 4 minutes to the end of the session, but he's going to have to cut it fine. He's going to have to corner cut. It's as simple as that if he wants to try and get another lap in. Freak Ronk on a lap. Coming through this final sector. 103.9 through the middle. Oh, and he's not on a lap. He's got left side end plate damage. He's clearly hit the wall somewhere out on track. He's going to continue on, and he is going to put on a lap. And it's a 150.1 for that. Inevitably, is going to be a significant improvement. Salas is invalidated, but I think we've got Bart on a lap as well. Bart, of course, part of CRC. CRC, of course, still looking for commentators. If you do want to get involved, Saturday and Sunday, they do race. Haven't seen a CRC stream on League Racing TV in ages since I left the commentary position there. If you do want to get involved and you're feeling inspired by me as Bart goes 11th, and you're feeling inspired by Bart's lap time now as well, you can, of course, join up CRC, Competitive Racing Club, at Competitive RC on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, at TTML_F1, if you do want to get involved with us on the F1 side. Ranheim on a good lap here, around the final corner. Could he go quickest? No, he's just shy, 7,000th of a second off from Ranheim. Good lap from him. I think that might be his final run of the session as well. So it's all hinging on the likes of Mays, the likes of Invictus, who's just coming out of his pit box now, and Jack Roos to try and improve. Jibby Storm as well on a set of mediums. Through the final corner he comes. Going to improve here. Across the line, 35.8. And he did back off in that final sector on his first lap on a set of softs. So he has found 5/10 of a second there. And 35.8 puts him up into 4th. Fastest of the medium runners by a good second as well from Schmitsky, who is now out there on a set of soft compounder tyres. And this is the man we'll ride on board with now. If there's any more validations, any improvements on the left-hand side, I will try and update you, of course. Schmitsky, 4/10 up, coming through the first sector. Jeffrey gets out of the way to the right-hand side. That's how you do get out of the way, coming through turn 6. Schmitsky through turn 7. And then through turn 8, the left-hander coming up. Looking really good there, Schmitsky. Oh, very close to the wall. Goodness me, you've taken quite a few limits, I think, out on track. Trying to extend as much as possible to try and use up as much width as possible on this track. Across the Anderson Bridge. And now, towards turn 13. Anderson Bridge reminds me of Valencia, if I've got to be honest. If I've got to put a similar comparison on a bridge, on a track, Valencia back in the day. Schmitsky 5/10 up, though. So he will improve ahead of Tornheim. Whether he'll improve ahead of Jack Roos, Invictus, Jibby Storm, Mays, and the likes remains to be seen. Sappy King retires in the, through the final corner, I think that is, from Sappy King, who didn't improve, 37.1. And Schmitsky is going to be one of the first cars to come. I think that car will get removed when we come round with Schmitsky on board. That is through the final corner, so he's clearly lost that on the outside curb. And Schmitsky backs off. Clearly feeling he wants to go for another run. And yeah, that might be a session done, to be honest, Schmitsky. Let's see who else is out there on a lap. Mays, 1,000th improvement through the first sector, 35.8. Can the old guard beat the newbies out on track? Mays now coming through the middle sector. He's 5 tenths up, and he's going to be there or thereabouts. If he puts on a really clean final sector here, Mays, he's going to be there or thereabouts. Rock City out on top his teammate. Ranholm second, Mays in third. Jimmy Storm in the pit lane not improving. Invictus is out there on a lap as well, and Invictus, I think, is coming through the middle sector. Mays, though, coming through the final couple of corners. Through turn 19, then through 20, 21, underneath the underpass. This is a really good lap. This could be the quickest of the night for Mays. Round the final corner, is he going to take it to his teammate Rock City across the line? Yes, he does. 35 flat, and it's an improvement by 2/10 of a second. So Mays currently out on top. How's Invictus getting on? He's through the middle sector now, coming across the Anderson Bridge. Torenheim also out there on a lap, and I think he's just behind him out on track by a couple of corners. But Invictus on a lap. He's got what appears to me a Red Bull ahead of him. And Invictus 2/10 up through the middle sector. It's not that quick. Got to really put it in this final sector. Has he been saving up this ERS for a final sector burst and a final sector spurt out on track? Can he do it? Rock City has just started on a lap as well. He's out of the first sector, so we'll run above him just shortly. We see an improvement up the field. Jimmy Storm actually goes fourth, I think, with that time. 35.8. No, he was in the pit lane, so somebody else had to improve. Invictus, though, ran the final corner. Is he going to improve ahead of Mays? Lies all on the line. He doesn't. He goes second. And Invictus is beaten by Mays for the first time this season. Could they be beaten by both? Rock City, can he beat them both? Round the final couple of corners he comes. Got Freak Ronk, I think, coming back into the pit lane. Rock City, though, on a lap. Oh, and he's invalidated out of 20. And that is pretty much it, I think. Salas out there on a lap, unless he sets an absolute... But he needs to be a Daniel Apt out on track, essentially, to try and get Mays, but Salas is not going to get Mays. And round the final corner comes Salas. He will set a lap time. That goes 11, so just shy out of the top 10. Pretty much the position he'll want to be in, I think. But at the end of qualifying here in Division 5, it is Mays out on top with a bit of a revving glitch, but he's out on top by 2/10 of a second from Invictus in second and Rock City in third. Ranheim in fourth, retiring out of the session, of course, didn't get the chance to have another lap in. So now just wait on Mays, who's just joined us back in the box there, and Freak Ronk to retire from the session. Mays out on top, Invictus second, Rock City in third. So Mercedes 1-3, McLaren second for Invictus, Jibby Storm in terms of the championship, fifth. Mays on top. So massive permutations already. Mays has got 2 points extra on Trez total, essentially, out on track. And we now come into qualifying. At the end of qualifying, Salas picked up a 5-place grid penalty, which we didn't see. Mays out on top from Invictus in second. Rock City in third with Ranheim in fourth. To be honest, the top 4 separated by 2.5 tenths is not that bad at all. Jimmy Storm in fifth with Torenheim in sixth. Jeffrey in seventh with Jack Roos in eighth. Nilsson in ninth. Schmitsky rounding off the top 10. Silas will drop down to 16th, so Sapmi King, Bart, Parcells, Freak Ronk and Dame Miles, who had a qualifying ban, will start from the back of the field. Silas will start, though, from the back because he picked up a grid place penalty out on track, and I'm not sure what it was for. I'll go into the race director quickly and see what that might have been for. And there you can see it was a collision with Invictus actually out on track. Bart picking up a listen, next lap invalidated as well. Well, that is your result from the end of qualifying. Mays, Invictus, Rock City, your front 3 coming into tonight. As we now get us into the race. 31 laps awaiting these drivers, of course, out on track. Plenty of Dutch fans there in the comment section I see on YouTube. Very good to see you all. And Stefan Christiansen as well from the TNR team. To all my Norwegians, Lik Dill. I'm not sure if that's pronounced right. Go get 'em, boys, he says, though. And that I can pronounce in a non-Norwegian accent. But we'll see how this race is going to unfold, of course, out on track. 31 laps await us out on track, and I really hope that this is going to be a fantastic race for everyone involved. Hopefully the driving standards are going to improve, and we are just moments away, and I will rejoin you in about 15 seconds time. 15 seconds later, I am back. I'm about to get going here for the formation lap. And 31 laps. You can see it's dry here so far. Doesn't mean to say that the track is going to change. But everyone, honestly, going for different strategies. Mays out on top. Looks like he's lagging about slightly. But everyone in the top 10, of course, qualifying on the set of compounder tyres that they qualified on. Everyone further down, Satmi King, Bart, Parcells and Freak Gronk, all on the set of medium compound tyres. Now, the set of mediums normally lasts around here to about the halfway stage, and then it's decision time whether you go for a set of hards or set of softs. There's probably going to be a set of hards if there's no safety cars, and that's a big if there's no safety cars around here. We had 2 last night with a VSC on the top of that as well in Division 2. Real carnage in the final couple of laps as well. We were like 4 laps from the end of the race. Full wet conditions. Sway, really impressed there last night, of course, in Division 2. Day Miles, on after his qualifying ban, who has served up that qualifying ban now, the Welshman is on a set of soft compound tyres, and that's what the set of softs can do. Lap 7 to lap 9 for a 2-stop, and then lap 19 to 25, or if he was to go mediums early on in the race, then he could try and last it out on a set of hards towards the end of the race. But of course, set of soft compound tyres is the one for Day Miles. And Silas, starting right at the back of the field, of course, because he qualified outside the top 10 and 11th originally, promoted back down to 16th because of a grid penalty. He starts on the set of hard compound tyres, so he's the exception rather than the rule out on track. We've got another ratio of about 80% on the set of softs up front as well. Chippy Storm and Schmitsky being the exception rather than the rule in the top 10. And to my ghost commentator, who I would normally ask, down alongside me, of course, normally, my ghost commentator is going to try and predict the top 3, but I'm going to have to tell you mine, aren't I? Because there is no ghost commentator and nobody believes in ghosts. So, let's see what I can do in terms of a top 3. I think Invictus is going to win this. I think he'll get Mays off the start and really try and push it out early on. So I think Invictus for the win. Let's go Ranheim for second and Mays for third. I don't think we're going to see anybody out of the top 4 try and get any sort of chance. Jippy Storm, I think, has got a good chance on a set of mediums. If he can make those tyres last early on, I think he's got a good chance. But we're now all lined up. My voice will go at the end of these 31 laps, but we're about to get going. The 5 red lights now going out here in TTML for round 8 of the championship. And it's lights down, away we go. Invictus gets a really good start, so does Mason. I think Mason's got the better start. Jippy Storm and that set of mediums is already ran the outside of 2 of them. Ran the outside, he goes into P3. Brilliant stuff by Jippy Storm. Had a fantastic run. Rock City rocks at Ranheim. Ranheim dropping down the field. Rock City's through and ran the outside of turn 3 and he's up into 4th. A little bit of carnage there in the background, but Mays leads the way by 0.2 of a second. But look at Invictus already on the back of Mays, who was just alien-like toward the left-hand side. Sammy King is round in contact with turn 4. Nilsson has been caught up in that as well. Parcells, I think, caught up in that as he loses the position to Bart. Everyone, though, through the first sector relatively safely. Nilsson and Sammy King getting caught up in a bit of contact, but Mays leads the way. 0.6 of a second. Invictus in second. Jippy Storm in third. Rock City in 4th. Ranheim there in 5th with Jeffrey 6th. Torrenheim, I should say, in 7th. So it's been a disastrous start for the AlphaTauris. Jack Roos in 8th. Schmitsky up to 9th. Freak Gronk up to 10th. Bart up to 11th. And Day Miles from 15th already up to 12th. Silas was another one, I think, that got caught up in a little bit of carnage coming out through turn 4. Jeffrey right on the back of Ranheim. Can he use this up to try and get the overtake done down in towards turn 14? No, he thinks about it. He was going to have a half look there, I think, the Red Bull. But on assist, the car ahead, he's not going to go for the move just yet. And it's a really difficult chance to overtake, track to overtake. So there's got to be a lot of patience from these guys out on track. But so far, so good from a majority of the field, which I'm glad to report. Mays leading the way. 0.6 of a second from Invictus there in second position. Jippy Storm in third, who's got a sensational start. Took 2, ran the outside through turn 1. See a bit of a timing glitch going on there with Mays, who's still in the lead of the race. Invictus trying to chase him down. Looking further through the field though, Day Miles is into the pit lane. Clearly got caught up in some sort of collision early on. And Day Miles into the pit lane to put on, I would imagine, a set of hards. If he wants to try and last this out for a 2-stop, he should go set of hards possibly. But he goes set of mediums. And that might be with the prospect of rain later on in the race. And all the interval timings will now come back to us. Invictus right on the back of Mays, the lead of the race as we now ride on board. Miles Nilsson will eventually correct the timing screens. They're both into the pit lane. Nilsson, of course, picking up that front wing damage. Sapmi King, who I think got caught up in a spin, didn't have any front wing damage, in fact. So let's have a look as we ride on board with him. Yeah, no visible damage with Sapmi King's car. Could he just got caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time, it seemed. I'm sure the stewards report chat will be busy here tonight. Mays though leading the way, but look at Jibby Storm right on the back of Invictus, nearly shoving him through turn 13 at the hairpin. And now towards turn 14, is he going to try and look for the move? He's nowhere near at this stage. Wilson right at the back of the field, he's just coming through turn 4 there, out on track. But Jibby Storm on the back of him. And what Jibby Storm is going to try and do is put pressure on these guys ahead. Because these guys are on a set of soft compound tyres, remember. He's on a set of mediums. Rock City on a set of softs behind him. Jibby Storm's in the more favourable position, I think, out on track compared to the rest. But it remains to be seen. He's got 73% of EOS left. Mays leads, coming across the line to start lap 3. So Invictus there in second. Torenheim is through, as Jeffrey, I think, is into the pit lane. Yeah, Jeffrey, who I think had left side end plate damage coming into the pit lane there. Let's see. DRS now enabled, by the way, on lap 3. And yeah, he's going to go on to a set of mediums. We'll go back on board with the battle for the lead because Invictus tries to close up to Mays once again. And this is now with DRS enabled, so he's got a little bit extra power in that car. But Mays will probably have a little bit more overtake mode to try and defend. And in fact, Invictus does not use anything up and doesn't want to push for the move. But look at how quick he is, Invictus. Right on the back of Mays. Ooh. You know, Judge's braking zone there. In behind, Jack Roos and Torenheim battling 6th and 7th. Jack Roos trying to go around the outside of Torenheim. Very difficult to overtake. You're going to be forced in the wall, and that is contact there. And you never go side by side coming out of turn 7 because it's only going to end in tears. And both of them have now picked up front wing damage, and Torenheim's just battered the wall, and there's a safety car out on track. I did say there might be a safety car, and there is. Safety car now deployed out on track. Torenheim and Jack Roos will have to make back into the pit stops after their contact, and Salas has gone off as well and has lost his front wing coming out through turn 8 there just before the Singapore sling, and that might be why we've got the full safety car out. So full safety car out, lap 3 out of 31. I don't hope that we're going to get a sense of deja vu from last week in Division 5, but as it stands, the state of play is Mays out in front from Invictus in second, Jibby Storm in third, Rock City 4th with Ranheim in 5th, Schmitsky in 6th with Freak Wonk in 7th. Let's have a look at the early position gains actually with Bart in 8th, Torenheim in 9th, Jack Roos 10th, Passels 11th, Salas in 12th, Sapmi King 13th, Jeffrey 14th, Demars 15th and Nilsson in 16th position. Top 3 stay out, Rock City in though. Rock City in, Ranheim in as well. So the 2 Norwegians are in the Mercedes and in the Alpha Tauri respectively. Both of them in Sopedin. You can see the cars filtering through there in the background. You're not wanting to go in, but Rock City in. Torenheim's got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Jack Roos, maybe because of the front wing damage. That was coming into the pit lane if I'm not mistaken. Didn't see that in the background. But Rock City has gone into fresh to the medium compound of tyres. There's the position gains, by the way, as we are now under the safety car. 9 positions gained for Freak Wonk, 6 positions gained for Schmitsky, as well as Bart and Passels, 3 gained for Salas, 3 gained for Sapmi King, 2 gained for Jibby Storm out on track. Salas back into pit lane as well. On a set of mediums he goes. Jeffrey running down towards turn 1. It's not on the back of Ranheim, but because we're under the safety car, everyone will close up. There are the pit stops so far. Half the field haven't, half the field have. That's as simple as I can put it, to be honest. Mays out in front, for Invictus in second, Jibby Storm in third position. And if you do have any thoughts, of course, about this race, about Formula 1 in general, do get in touch, of course, here in the YouTube comment section for Division 5. And if you are just tuning in and wondering, yes, I'm doing another solo commentary this week. And yes, Division 4 is not live on the channel, I'm afraid. Graham Chappell, sadly taken ill tonight. Can tell you he is not feeling that well, and he hasn't got any symptoms related to COVID or anything like that. He will be back though next week, just feeling under the weather, and hopefully we wish everyone well who is like that currently. I know it's flu season out there and whatever. Demars picking up the first 3-second time penalty of the night, and of course we wish Graham Chappell well in his recovery, and hopefully he's going to be back to full strength for next week, and hopefully he'll have Cowboy, of course, alongside him in the commentary box. And because Dan's not here, of course, in Division 5, there's no stream for Division 4. It's as simple as that. If Dan was here for Division 5, then we could have done one for Division 1, one for Division 4, one for Division 5. It's as simple as that. We couldn't necessarily do that because I'm literally the only commentator that was available tonight. And it's a good job I'm available, so I can commentate you through the action, of course, here for Division 5. And although it is Division 5, it is still good racing, I'm sure, and hopefully we'll get a very good clean restart underneath the safety car. On to lap 5 though, of 31, and the safety car is out on track after front wing littered over the track as a result of a Torenheim Jack Roos collision, and Salas losing his front wing as well. It now brings the question though, what's everyone going to do out on track? And hopefully we're going to see some really good racing. Rock City, by the way, saying that he's got a good feeling about this one. Well, currently, he hasn't got a good feeling about this at all, because he's in 9th position. He has came into the pit lane, though, which is the deciding factor in all of this. So Rock City commenting on Twitter beforehand, saying, really have a good feeling for this one, watch out boys. He tagged both me and Dan in the tweet on Twitter, which I have just liked now on my Twitter, and hopefully he's going to deliver a good race. He's in the 9th position, he's on a set of medium compound of tyres. He looks as if he'll probably go to around the halfway stage, as long as it stays dry, of course. We cannot tell when the rain is going to come, because of it ever being a night race. So it could literally turn like a Division 2 last night, where we had dry running at the first 10 laps of the race, then it turned to inters, then it turned to wet about 2/3 of the way through, and then we had the full safety car, of course, out on track as a result of either contact or front wing damage, whatever the question. Might have the safety car come in this lap, so Mace will lead. He will be the virtual Bert Marlander out on track once the safety car comes in. The virtual Bert Marlander, of course, just in front of him. And Abu Dhabi, of course, this weekend in real life. Let me know what you're thinking in terms of predictions. Safety car coming in this lap. Good to see Hamilton back, I've got to be honest, in real life. Russell, I know, was only in for the Mercedes for 1 week. He will get his chance eventually. Hamilton, though, if you are not a fan of Hamilton, I think it's just really good to see him back after COVID. It is a debilitating illness, and glad to see Hamilton back. And in Hamilton's car is, of course, Mays, and Mays is now leading the safety car. As long as he keeps a consistent pace like he's doing now, he should keep it very consistently. He'll slow it down underneath the tunnel, and then he'll quicken it back up as he comes out the final couple of corners out on track. But looking good so far underneath the safety car. Sammy King just got to close up slightly. When does Mays decide to go? Now is the time. He decides to go out on track. Not like Mashiro, who lost it coming out of the safety car. And Mays has to back up. Safety car now in, and we're back underway. Nearly caused a little bit of a contact in behind, but now Invictus has got a sensational run up Mays. And this is exactly like Mashiro last night. Invictus on the inside line, Mays on the outside line. They've literally got no grip on those tyres at all. They give each other too much room. And Mays leading the way from Invictus in second. Jibby Storm there in third. Schmitsky in fourth. Freak Gronk up to fifth. Bart up to sixth. I think Rock City got through on Sapmi King, so Rock City's through. And he's up into 8th position, so he's made a position early on. We'll come back on board with the battle for the leaders. Invictus tries to close up on Mays. Don't think he'll close up close enough. Down towards turn 6. And he doesn't indeed. Bart looking quite racy there in the background as well, on the back of Freak Gronk. And down into the very tricky braking zone of turn 7. And then through turn 8, of course, this left-hander coming up. Invictus is really trying to push Mays into making a mistake. And he's not going to go for the inside into the Singapore sling. He backs off late on, but he tries to pressurise Mays into that mistake. And he may as well, because honestly, Mays is looking slower than Invictus out on track, and Invictus has just got to bide his time. Down into turn 14, it'll be a perfect opportunity for him. He's got a sensational run. No, he hasn't. He's in the wall. He loses it coming out the hairpin there. There's side-by-side action further down the field. Schmitsky now through, as well as Jibby Storm, and Jeffrey is through on Ranheim as well. So he's through and he's up into 10th position. Invictus is losing countless amounts of positions. Day Miles under pressure as well. Jack Roos gets around the outside of turn 14. Brilliant stuff. And now Torenheim on the inside line of Day Miles. They don't want to come into contact. And Torenheim, brilliant move. Round the outside of Day Miles. Yes, albeit on fresher tyres, but he's on a set of hards compared to a set of mediums. And Day Miles really struggling out on track. Torenheim has just left him for chips and has left him for dead. And he's through and he's up into 13th. Really good move that by Torenheim. And that is really good racing between them both. Jibby Storm now on the back for the lead of the race. We see pit stops now being made. And the pit stops that are being made are Invictus and Sapmi King. So they both obviously picked up a little bit of contact with front wing, either hitting the wall or contact with another driver. They're both into the pit lane. With Sapmi King, I think it's the second time tonight. Rock City, Parcells finding out of turn 3. And there he is to the right-hand side. Couldn't even see him. And he lets Jeffrey through as well. So Parcells loses 2 positions as a result. And now Jibby Storm right on the back of Maze, trying to pressurise him into the position. Literally, it's only a one-man machine out on track, of course, in terms of the action. Trying to deliver you as much as possible. Jack Roos trying to go around the outside of Ranheim. He's now on the inside line for turn 7. He's got Tornheim on the outside of him. And Jack Roos could be bullied out of position. In fact, Tornheim just hits the wall. He's on the inside line now for turn 8. Can he get the move done? He's on the inside line. Brilliant stuff by Tornheim. Jack Roos had to back off the position in the end. But Tornheim really racing like a future champion. Out on track, he's through and he's up into 10th position, and he's making light work of some of these guys around him. Really good stuff there by Tornheim. Across the Anderson Bridge, Silas right on the back there, nearly contacting with Day Miles. But as we go on, Invictus behind Sapmi King as well, out on track. Jibby Storm pressurising Maze. Maze will have to make a decision sooner rather than later when he's going to come into the pit lane. I think it'll probably be in the next few laps or so. Out on track. It remains to be seen though. Day Miles losing a little bit of time to Jack Roos. He's really struggling. Silas is on the back of him further down the field, but now Jibby Storm on the back of Maze. Going to continue on. DRS will be enabled this lap around. Not here though. Across the start-finish line. It will be of course enabled down towards turn 6. Maze though leading the way out on track from Jibby Storm in second. Schmitsky is in third, and there is the back of Schmitsky's car right in the back, and it's actually a Williams 3-4 because Freak Ronk is there right on the back of him. Watch out for that man there though, Rock City. He's on fresher tyres compared to the guys around him, and he could get Bart here for P5 out on track. I don't think Jibby Storm is close enough down in towards turn 7, but Rock City might be. Down the inside line. No, half commits it. Bart hangs on to the position. And that's a difficulty because... Oh, a little bit of contact there actually with Jeffrey right on the back of Rock City. No in-play damage coming off that car. But this is a difficult scenario. Rock City's got to be careful. He doesn't want to land himself in between a rock and a hard place out on track. Bart is there out in front of him and is there for the taking. But Jeffrey is also there for the taking on Rock City. So Rock City has got to be careful. He doesn't want to land himself between a rock and a hard place. Somebody that might land himself in between that hard place is Maze as he gets closed down by Jibby Storm down towards turn 14. But he's not close enough. And Jibby Storm hangs on. You don't want to really make any overtakes, any silly moves, and Jibby Storm just biding his time. But currently, on merit, he is right there for the race win so far. Looks to the inside line through turn 18 now. Maze making sure that car is as wide as possible. On top of the curb, a little bit of time gained in Maze's advantage there. And now as they come through to start lap 9 out of 31, Maze leading the way. And Jimmy Tillman second makes a slight mistake, slight hesitation coming through. And Schmitsky third, but look at Jeffrey right on the back of Rock City. Rock City now under pressure from Jeffrey behind, and Jeffrey's into the back of him. Jeffrey into the back of him, right side end plate damage goes flying off that car, and another late braking move from Jeffrey to try and get the move done, lands himself into the back of another car. So unfortunate. Jimmy Storm now onto the left hand side of Maze, goes to the left hand side and he's got the move done, down and towards turn 6. Maze is right round the outside though. Can he turn it from a negative into a positive? Jimmy Storm on the outside line, Maze on the inside line. Oh my goodness me, Maze is somehow, hang on and look at Schmitsky. Schmitsky's through and he's up into second. Can't even get my words out. Schmitsky through and he's up into second. That is so difficult to try and get the overtake done. Jimmy Storm now has got Freak Ronk down the inside of him. And he could be losing on countless amounts of positions, but he's not. Freak Ronk recovers the car, but it's going to cause all sorts of carnage. And behind is Bart. Nearly goes into the back of him, Rock City. They've got to be careful not to make any contact. Jeffrey, my goodness me, nearly into the back of Rock City again. Lap 9 out of 31, and there's a spinner in sector 2. Torrenheim, I think, has made collision with his teammate, has he? Torrenheim round. He's back down to P10. I think he might have made a collision with his teammate there, Ranheim, just in front of him. And I think Torrenheim's let him back through, if I'm not mistaken there. Invictus, by the way, losing the time to Sapmi King. Sapmi King on a set of soft compound of tyres. And let's have a look at the penalties early on. Dave Miles has picked up 15 seconds worth of penalties. Must be a 10-second penalty surely at there. Tomenheim with 3, Sammy's King with 3, and Silas with 3 as well. Mays is into the pitch from the lead of the race. So Mays into the pit lane from the lead of the race, and Dave Miles has crashed out on track through turn 18. Just missing that. He's got left side end plate damage on that car. And he's in, and he cuts across the track. Not happy. Hopefully he will learn from his mistake of last week, and hopefully he will retire coming into the pit lane if he does decide to. He slows the car down, and that is one unhappy bunny there, if I've got to be honest. Fighting though for position, and Jeffrey is through on Bart, and he's through on Rock City, I think, as well. Rock City has lost position. He tries to go around the outside of Bart. No way, Jose. No room at the inn. As Christmas is coming up, of course, in 2 weeks' time. Schmitsky leading the way now from Jibby Storm in second. Schmitsky, of course, getting through. Demals leading the session. We thank him, though, for attending. At least he's done the right thing and retiring the pit lane this time. And Invictus is out of the race as well. Invictus retires out of the race in the pit lane. And that is him now at the race. And we go back to green flag racing in through the final couple of corners. But Schmitsky leads away 0.4 of a second out on track from from Jibby Storm in second, Freak Ronk in third. Rock City is now through. Ranheim is now through on Passels, I should say. So Ranheim through and he's up into seventh. Didn't see that move, but he's through anyways on the left hand side of your screen. He's up into seventh. Passels down to eighth. Tomenheim has just picked up another 3-second time penalty. Javri's in 10th. No, Bart is round as well. So Bart is round, coming out through turn 18. I wonder if he's just clipped the wall there on the left hand side. Jeffrey, Freak Ronk, I think, are into the pit lane. Yes, they are. And that now means Jibby Storm can chase down for the race lead on Schmitsky. Both on the same strategy in terms of the pit stops. There is who hasn't pitted just yet. Schmitsky, Jibby Storm, Passels, Bart, still yet to make a pit stop. Jibby Storm again on the back of Schmitsky. And Schmitsky did a really good job, of course, last time out in the podiums. Finished second, in fact. And this is our repeat of first and second last week, of course, in Belgium. Schumi was, of course, was third. He's not racing here tonight. But Schmitsky and Jibby Storm are going to try and focus on this battle. Tomenheim right on the back of Passels as well. Silas has jumped Satmi King. Satmi King is back into the pit lane. Obviously picked up some front wing damage, might be out on track. He will continue on though, Satmi King. Knowing him, he will not give up. And Tomenheim right on the back of Passels. Ooh, very close to the back there. Gives Jack Roos a little bit of a look in. He's stuck in a little bit of a banana sandwich. Out on track. Oh, and he goes for the dive bomb, and that is absolutely ridiculous. Tomenheim goes for the dive bomb down the inside. I know there was only one way there, but it's just ruined Passels' race completely. He's got left side end plate damage as well. And that is not how to drive around Singapore. It's as simple as that. Jarry's now on the back of Tomenheim. And unfortunately for Tomenheim, I think that will land him in a little bit of trouble. Back to the action though. And Jarus right on the back of Tomenheim. 0.4 of a second away. And Tomenheim, after that dive bomb down the inside, realised, of course, that he was going to not commit the corner. He decided to just lunge it down the inside and ruin somebody's race, which is just ridiculous. Schmitsky, Jibby Storm, though, into pit lane from the lead of the race. Around about with Schmitsky, goes past Jibby Storm's area. Schmitsky into pit lane. Should go on to a set of hards here, and yeah. And he gets out in front of Jibby Storm. We saw in Division 1 earlier on this week that one of the drivers did not get out ahead. There's Mays, by the way, and Mays could get both of them. Mays is going to get both of them, and he's in the net race lead. It's Mays. So Mays is out in front. The undercut very potent around here as Nilsson and Jack Roos fight down in towards turn 7, and Nilsson gets the position done through on Jack Roos. He goes and he's up into P4. So Nilsson trying to make headway through the field, but important that Mays on a lap, all the tyres, and Schmitsky and Jibby Storm. That undercut with clear air has done the world of good, and he now lands himself back into the lead of the race. Schmitsky currently in a net P2, Jibby Storm currently in net P3 out on track. But it all depends on how Rock City and Ranheim and the likes who pitted under the safety car, how they get on out on track. We now focus on our battle for 5th And we'll not focus on our battle for 5th because Jibby Storm is on the back of Schmidtke. Further down the field here, this is for 8th, 9th and 10th. And Maze is dropping a little bit of time, to be honest, out on track. And hopefully doing a fantastic job out on track. Jibby Storm down the inside. Not trying to get the move done there. Just going to have to bide his time. Going to about to go on to lap 13. Rock City leads. Ranheim in 2nd. Tonheim in 3rd. Nilsson 4th. Javroos in 5th. We're on above with Javroos now. Out of the final corner. Across the line he comes. And Nilsson saying he bottled his lap, by the way, in qualifying in the final sector. And Invictus complaining about a little bit of lag as well coming from Maze. We've seen that on our screen as well. But Javroos picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's on the back of Nilsson. Continue to ride on board with this. Schmidtke is right on the back as well of Maze. Coming now through turns 1, 2 and 3. And this could be an instant classic between these three, to be honest. Maze, Schmidtke and Jibby Storm. Jibby Storm, of course, on a really good vein of form. 3 wins in a row. Schmidtke, with a 2nd place to his name last time out, could try and get the move done. Somebody that could try and get the move done, though. The two Dutchies are about to go at it. Freak Ronk and Jeffrey. Jeffrey to the inside line now. And Freak Ronk, I think, is just going to allow that door to come in. He just forces the door shut. Jeffrey, that is great defensive driving. Forces him nearly into the wall. Uses every bit of that car to try and defend the position. That might be one of the best defensive moves I've seen so far this season. Jeffrey, take your hat off there. Brilliant move down the inside of Freak Ronk. Got the move done anyways going into the corner, but he just defended the position. The way he moved across on Freak Ronk, defended the position beautifully, and he's through and he's up into 9th. Really good move that. Like that a lot. Jibby Storm on the back of Schmidtke out on track. Plenty of support still for Jibby Storm as well in the comment section, which I'm glad to see. And there is your man right there, with Schmidtke under pressure now from the Racing Point. Mercedes, Williams, Racing Point. Imagine if this is the top 3 come 2 nights in Abu Dhabi. 2 afternoons time in Abu Dhabi, I should say. Schmidtke though right on the back of him. And actually Schmidtke's going to be under pressure here because Jibby Storm's got a tremendous run out the final corner. He now hunts him down. Like lamb to the slaughter, Jibby Storm hunts down Schmidtke down in towards turn 1, but he's not close enough. He's just going to bide his time. Further up the field though, Javroos responds to Nilsson. Down the inside he goes, and he's through and he's up into 4th. We just saw that move there. Javroos through. Jibby Storm though will cut back on board with this battle for now 6th, 7th and 8th. And Jibby Storm might have been complaining that he hasn't got enough straight line speed. Just in the second half, running down into the braking zone there, he didn't. But had really good speed initially when the DRS was opened. And Bart right on the back as well of Silas. Silas for 11th, Bart for 12th. And I think we're going to see a possible change in position here. Bart just fiddling about. I think he turned off his overtake mode there by mistake. He's got Silas in front of him. Silas runs wide. Silas got damage on the left-hand side end plate. Just trying to spot that out. Bart not going to commit the move. Good to see Bart back racing after a few weeks' absence. Of course, he is only a reserve here in Division 5. But Bart there in 11th, trying to fight on the back of Silas for that position. Nearly at the halfway stage. We've just got on to lap 15. Rock City leading from Ranheim in 2nd, Tonheim 3rd and Javroos in 4th. In terms of the championship standings, currently coming into tonight, Jibby Storm on 142 points, Maze on 134. Currently, Maze only outscoring Jibby Storm by a few points, but it could be just that few points enough that he has to try and get this, because the guys ahead are going to be coming into the pit, and Rock City, I think, is fine for the race lead, to be honest. Out on track. I know I said Maze, Schmidtke and Jibby Storm will try and get the undercut on these guys, but I don't think so. Rock City on relatively fresh tyres. There's the gap to the leader. It's 30.2 seconds to Jibby Storm. It's 29 seconds to Maze. So Rock City might be within a good shout here of possibly taking the race lead when he comes out the pit lane. And of course, he will not have to make another stop out on track. Here comes Jibby Storm on the back of Schmidtke, closing him down. But again, not close enough. Really good race this so far. Really hope you are enjoying this action. Of course, more action to come as we go into next week. Return of Esports, Masters League, of course, on Wednesday night, and our final races before Christmas in all 5 divisions out on track. As now we continue to run on board with this battle for 6th, but we'll hook on board with the battle for 3rd as Jack Roos is right on the back of Torenheim. Jack Roos, who was in championship contention last time out, still is, and he tries to look for the move. He's got overtake on coming through the middle sector. What's he doing? He's wasting away his overtake mode. Turn off your overtake mode as you go through the corners. He's wasting away the overtake mode, and it's going to allow him onto the back for sure, but he's run out of VOS. That's why. Ranheim into the pit lane from 2nd, and that is why you don't use up overtake mode. It's as simple as that through the corners, because he's just about one. He's lost a whole host of time, and now Nilsson's on the back of him as well. So worst case scenario there for Jack Roos, who's just lost time to Torenheim and has now been gaining time by Nilsson and behind. But saying that, Jack Roos is now looking a little bit quicker. Ranheim, by the way, is coming out of the pit lane. If that is anything to go by, Ranheim, I think, came into the pits in 2nd, and he was only a few seconds off Rock City, and Maze and the likes have already flown through the screen. Ranheim out in clear air, though. Out on a set of mediums, and he's now out in clear air. Jibby Storm right on the back of Schmitsky, and he now hunts him down as this the opportunity now for Jibby Storm to try and get the move done. But look at Schmitsky, he just waltzes away. But now in the second half, running down in towards turn 7, can he try and get the move done? No. Maze lagging about slightly, going alien-like once again. Jibby Storm trying to force it down the inside on Schmitsky. Not quite close enough. Maze in 5th, Schmitsky 6th, Jibby Storm 7th, as it currently stands out on track. More than halfway through, by the way. It is still dry running as well here out on track in Singapore. And it is that man there, Rock City, who does lead the way. Coming underneath the grandstand for the 16th time out on track. He does lead the way. Jack Roos has just picked up another 3-second time. But we'll give you an update towards the end of the race. Rock City through the final corner, still continuing on that set of mediums. Clearly feels he's got the nerve to try and go a few more laps. The more laps he goes, though, the more he's going to be closed in by Maze towards the end of the race, I would imagine. Schmitsky right on the back of him. Jimmy Storm right on the back. Jeffrey picks up his first 3-second time penalty. Jack Roos is into the pit lane from 3rd. Nilsson still continuing on. So Jack Roos, interestingly, on fresher compound compared to Torenheim and Nilsson on a set of hards, he's into the pit lane, and I wonder if there's a front wing change going on. Yes, there is. There's a front wing change out in that pit box for Jack Roos. He's obviously clipped the wall somewhere out on track, which we didn't see. And Jeffrey gone past him. Freakron gone past him as well. Schmitsky, Maze, and Jibby Storm. Can't keep our eyes off this battle. Schmitsky just got to be careful. There's yellow flags in sector 1, and it's Jeffrey that has spun. Coming out through turn 3. Jeffrey has spun out of turn 3 and into safety car out on track. The front wing to the left-hand side, you can see. He's lost his entire front wing, and Jeffrey now has got to troop that back into the pit lane. It's quite beneficial because nobody can overtake him now under the safety car, so he can still come into the pit lane in P9. But what does that do to the race? All of these guys, as Torenheim's going to drive through penalty for speeding under the safety car. That is disastrous for the AlphaTauri. Of course, he can't set that up underneath the safety car either. So what does this do now? Well, it opens up the race a little bit as Rock City leads the way out on track. Silas was beautifully placed, by the way. I think he came into the pit lane even before the safety car came out. He's now out of the pit lane in 14th position. But Rock City now out on track. Safety car is there through the exit of turn 3. And we should see Rock City now come into the pit lane. What does he do, though? He, I think, was on a set of mediums. It's starting to rain! It's starting to rain out on track! And if the safety car hasn't came out in worst case scenario, it has now just started to rain here out on track. Nilsson's going to drive through penalty for spinning under the safety car now as well. So it's all falling into place for Rock City out on track. You might see his mechanics there. His mechanics, as he froze, he is coming out of the pit lane. I trust you, there he is at the end of the pit lane. Mechanics were ghost-like out on track. But Rock City now out of the pit lane. He's on Tresetta mediums. Nilsson has gone on Tresetta intermediates. That is not a bad call, my friend, at all. Later on as well, but especially when the safety car comes into the pit lane, that could be a strategy to save her. It could be one to look at. He's going to be on ice, essentially, currently. But out of the pit lane, he's crossed the white line, which comes to show how this is not intermediate conditions yet. But if, and only if, this rain comes down heavier, and if and only if he can get those tyres up to scratch, he's going to be in this under the safety car restart, I think. As long as DRS gets disabled in the next 2 or 3 laps, Nelson might have just pulled off one of the strategy calls of the season. Possibly. Same with Freak Gronk, who's out there on a set of inters as well. He could have just pulled off the strategy call of the season. Similar to Sway last night, of course, in Division 2. Well then, if you are just tuning in, safety car back out after Jeffrey losing his front wing. But it means Torenheim now out in front. Torenheim has picked up a drive-through penalty in Rock City. Oh my goodness me, he nearly spun coming through the hairpin. Goodness me, concentrate, man, concentrate. Rock City, then, is currently in the lead of the race because Torenheim obviously has got a drive-through penalty. You'll see there on the penalty scenario, Torenheim and Nilsson have both got drive-through penalties. Gronk has changed position on Bart, and Bart has spun, I think. Yeah, Bart is into the wall underneath the safety car on a set of hard compounded tyres. So if these hards are not going, these mediums will certainly not go that Torenheim, that Rock City is on either. Will Rock City come back into the pit lane? Bart has retired out on track. He's crashed the car. Out on track. That is straight into the Singapore sling. And that's the first time this season we've seen a crash under the safety car. Sapmi King, Salas through. Bart, absolutely disastrous. And the safety car continues to stay out. Rain coming down heavier. DRS will be disabled, I think, probably at the end of this safety car restart. After the safety car restart, and we go back to green flag racing, it could be all sorts of chaos that could unfold. We've got 12-13 laps left to go. And my goodness me, you guys might be necessarily in for an absolute treat. Rock City's into the wall! Rock City into the wall! The race in his mercy, he's just spun! Coming through turn 3, we nearly saw it through the hairpin, and now he's spun properly! And he's trying to get the car turned! It's an absolute disaster! Jimmy Storm has spun as well! Absolute disaster out on track. These conditions are so changeable. It's really changing things out on track. Torenheim leads. Mays now second. Schmidtski third. Jimmy Storm still in fourth. He had a bit of a half spin coming out of the hairpin, I think, through turn 5. And he's gone nearly into the wall again. Set of hards are not disposing of the wall, so it's got to be into, surely. You can see there's no spray being kicked off, but it's just so wet out on track. These guys are literally having to tiptoe. This could be one of the most exciting safety car restarts that you might see, when it comes in eventually, that you might see in TTML history. This could be unbelievable. As Jeffrey is now spun, coming out of turn 3, everyone is going round on a set of dry compound of tyres. Anybody that's on a set of inters, you've just called it. Absolutely brilliantly. Jeffrey recovers the car. He will get going again. He's got right side end plate damage to that car. So unfortunate. Jeffrey leaves the session, in fact. Don't blame him. And now it's got to be DRS disabled out on track when we get back underway, because this rain is coming down. It's beginning to wetten the track a lot more. And well, lap 19 out of 31. And we've got the safety car out. And we've had about 3 spinners under the safety car. Why do I always get a good race when Dan is not here? It's as simple as that. We normally get good races here in Division 5, but this is now something else. What will the leaders do then? With some of the guys around them spinning, what will they do? Into the pit lane. Torenheim in. Mays in. Schmidtski in. Jimmy Storm in. Nilsson stays out. Nilsson will lead the race. Jimmy Storm's got a penalty for collision with Schmidtski. Schmidtski's got a penalty for collision with Mays. This race has just fallen unbelievably into Nilsson's hands. This is absolutely unbelievable. Everybody on a set of inters is going to be top 4, surely. Torenheim now into P4. As he's just Mays in the pit lane, obviously. Oh my goodness me, I don't think we're going to get the safety car coming in before the end of this race. This is absolutely unbelievable. Please stay out. Virtual Burt Marlander, please stay out. Nilsson out in front. I did say it was the strategy call of the season. And I stick by that. That's the strategy call of the season that you've just seen. It could be the race-winning move as well. But he's got a drive-through penalty. Freak Ronk Javroos behind him don't. They've got 5 seconds and 6 seconds respectively out on track. Torenheimer's got a drive-through, which brings Maze, Schmidtski, Jibby Storm back into play. This race is wide open with 11 laps to go. Oh, strap yourselves in. If you're not a fan of Formula 1, get somebody who is a fan. And if you are similarly a fan who is a fan of Formula 1, then please get somebody who isn't a fan of Formula 1 and get them to tune in here for the last 11 laps of this race. This could be the defining moment of the season. This could be the race to end all races. Safety car is in this lap. So Nilsson is now the virtual Bermande. As long as he sticks to a very consistent pace, and he's only going to lead 2 of them, I think. Freak Ronk and Javroos, he may as well get on with it, to be honest. Nilsson, got to be careful. He just wants to try and not go with the safety car. It's the worst thing you can do, being the leader of the safety car. I've done it plenty of times where I've been too quick, backed up the pack and caused all sorts of carnage, like Mugello-esque 2020. Nilsson, though, is perfect out on track. And now, as we come through, he's going to back up the pack. Only 2 drivers in this safety car queue. Everyone is going to feel really hard done by this safety car. And again, it begs to wonder whether Codemasters is on point. Safety car, he's going to be too early, I think. Safety car coming through. Yeah, they're going to get back on the way now. Nilsson spun! Nilsson spun at the lead of the race! I cannot believe what I've just seen! Nilsson has spun out of the lead of the race. It's what Mashiro nearly did last night. It's happened to Nilsson. He's back into the pit lane, and now Freak Ronk leads the way. Javroos is all over the place in second. This is absolutely unbelievable. Freak Ronk leads a Grand Prix here in TTML. We've got a crash in the middle sector. In the final sector, Salas has crashed into the wall coming out of turn 18. He's got right tail end plate damage. Oh my god. Freak Ronk now leads the way. Schmidtski going side by side with Maze down in towards turn 6. Can Schmidtski get the move done? Down the inside line he goes. Oh, and there's contact. Schmidtski should have backed out of that one. Boss left the session. Jimmy Storm now through and he's up into 5th. Schmidtski now through down into 6th. And Schmidtski should have never went for that move down in towards turn 6. The gap was always going to close. He was half committed to the move. Always. Unbelievable. Nilsson, by the way, pitted in for a worn set of intermediates. They might not get to the end, but crucially, he is on and back out on track, and he's crucially ahead of Satmi King and Passelt, which I didn't expect him to be. So he's out in 8th position, out on track. Freak Ronk leading the way from Javroos in 2nd. Why do you need Division 4 when you can have Division 5 tonight in one of the most possibly craziest races of the season? Dan, I hope you're watching this. Freak Ronk leads from Javroos in 2nd. But look at Freak Ronk, he's all over the place now. Oh, he's into the wall! Commentators curse, Freak Ronk into the wall, and now Javroos will lead, parting of the Red Team move, and Javroos is through. I think Freak Ronk should have came into the pit lane there, to be honest. He had right side end plate damage on that car now. Torenheim's got to pit in for that drive-through. Maze in 4th, Jibby Storm in 5th. It's not me mad to think that Maze and Jibby Storm can somehow still do this out on track. I think they can. They've got no penalties. Everyone ahead does. Maze and Jibby Storm are battling essentially for what could be the lead of this race. Absolute madness. Still, 9.5 laps to go. If you're not a fan of Formula 1, I hope I've converted you. It's as simple as that. I hope these guys on track have converted you. And Javroos leads by 1.5 seconds. Freak Ronk is 2nd, Torenheim in 3rd. And Jibby Storm right on the back of Maze. Closest battle out on track, 4th and 5th, and you know these guys will deliver. Not really any room to serve up any ERS out on track either. Jibby Storm should just hang on to that ERS, use it up when it turns dry. I think the rain has stopped actually out on track. It has. The rain has stopped out on track. So this now presents another challenge out on track. When will it turn back to dries? This is absolutely unbelievable. The rain has stopped now out on track. You can see it out on track. There's not much spray coming off those tyres at all. Out on track now. 2 laps time, we might be in for dries again. And who knows who can win this race if that happens. Jack Roos leads. Freak Ronk is second. From Torenheim in third. Mays in fourth. Jibby Storm fifth. Schmitsky is somehow in sixth and he's catching up to these guys. Schmitsky still in with a chance to get onto the back of Jibby Storm and Mays. Look at how difficult this car is to control. Jibby Storm is in. Jibby Storm is in, Jack Roos in, Freak Ronk in, and that is why they pit in. DRS back now enabled. We literally had a quick shower here in Singapore. There's still spray coming into the pit lane. And Jack Roos has gone on to a set of softs. Will they make it to the end, I wonder? Mays now leads, but he won't because he'll have to pit in for a set of softs. Or for a set of mediums or something like that. And now, as Jack Roos has crossed the pit lane exit, 5-second penalty for crossing the pit lane exit. It's so Tetris out on track. Torenheim as well back out, and Torenheim has just served up his drive-through penalty. He's still there in a set of inters. This is unbelievable. Mays leads, Schmitsky out on track. These guys will have to pit in now. Jack Roos in third, Torenheim in fourth, Jibby Storm in fifth. Jibby Storm on these tyres might take the lead of the race because Jack Roos will take the lead of the race, I'm afraid. The yellow flag in sector 3. Salas has crashed again through turn 18 on a set of inters. So difficult to drive that car. And Salas will come back into the pit lane once again. Mays out in front, 3.3 seconds, gingerly pulling away from Schmitsky. Jack Roos there in third. Look at the gap. Last time I saw that gap was 11 seconds. It's literally coming down. There's 2/10 a corner, 3/10 a corner. Now 9 seconds, Jack Roos. Jack Roos is going to be in the lead of the race by possibly about 10 seconds out on track when Mays and Schmitsky come into the pit lane. But look, 11 seconds worth of penalties, and he's got Jibby Storm and a set of mediums behind him who will be in second position. And he's got to dispose of Torenheim sooner rather than later as well. This, fascinating. No crash gates, I'm afraid, out on track. And here comes Jibby Storm. Oh, Jibby Storm runs into the back of Torenheim. And Torenheim goes straight on nearly. Jibby Storm's just going to have to wait. It's like a snail on the tortoise. The more Torenheim holds him up, the more Jack Roos is going to win by. Jibby Storm has now got to get him. Got to be patient. Allow him to come into the pit lane there. Absolutely patient perfection there from Jibby Storm. And he's now in the second position as he now passes the leaders of the race. Jack Roos leads by 11.3 seconds. Torenheim has held up Jibby Storm enough for Jack Roos to win this race out on track. Absolutely unbelievable. Schmitsky is back out of the pit lane. Had a front wing change out on track. He's got Torenheim coming out the pit lane behind him as well. All of these guys either on a set of softs now or on a set of mediums. Rock City on 3-lap medium. Sappy King has undercut pretty much everyone. He was the only one on a set of inters that came in. Torenheim has got a 5-second penalty. Now Nulson, who led the race for, well, the safety car period, the second safety car period, is now trying to hunt him down as well. We have got 7.5 laps to go. And Jack Roos' lead is not enough for him to win. Jibby Storm currently in second. 10.4 seconds out on track. 10.2 now out on track. 10 seconds out on track. And Jibby Storm is trying to hunt down Jack Roos. Nothing really going on out on track apart from Nilsson trying to get onto the back of Torenheim. And well, my goodness me. Driving standards have been much improved, I've got to say, because nobody's even been overtaken or anything like that here out on track tonight. Driving standards have been well received, I think, much improved compared to Belgium last week. Safety cars and VSCs for once are making it quite entertaining rather than ruining the rhythm of the race. And now Nilsson right on the back of Torenheim. 1.4 seconds, just losing that time out. Now actually Torenheim's right on the back of Sappy King, and Sappy King really under pressure here, struggling for traction. As now, Torrenheim, right on the back of the Norwegian. The two Norwegians now battling it out. Torrenheim now has to get Satmi King in a position and a place where he can overtake. He'll be down into turn 1 if he gets a really good run out of the final corner, which he does. And now is he going to try to move down in towards turn 1? Torrenheim is closing up very quickly indeed to Satmi King. It should be a move down the inside for Torrenheim. It is a move down the inside for Torrenheim. He's got loads of 5-second penalties, but he's through and he's up into 7th. Ahead of Satmi King he goes. Great move there by Torrenheim. He's through and he's up into 7th. And now Nilsson right on the back of Satmi King as well. Track beginning to evolve more in terms of the softs as well out on track. Nilsson closing up. A little bit of marbles coming off the car there in front, but now Nilsson to the inside line. 2 for 1. Satmi King's been overtaken by Nilsson. He runs wide. Satmi King's going to have a go back, and Satmi King could be back through here. Ran the outside through turn 7. Nilsson dives in late. Nilsson gets the move done. Brilliant stuff indeed by Nilsson. Through when he's up into 8th position. I might have criticised him earlier on in qualifying for holding up Ranheim on a lap, and obviously might get punished for that, but good move there by Nilsson. He's through and he's up into 8th position. I was saying just before that, I thought the softs were beginning to come into play. They're not. It looks like the mediums are coming into play. 39.4 out of track. This is how slow this running has been so far tonight. Jimmy Storm, though, is going to set the new fastest lap of the race, 38.8. So there you can tell who's on the quicker tyre. It's as simple as that. And now, Jimmy Storm, 9.5 seconds away from Jack Roos ahead. 11 seconds worth of penalty for Jack Roos. Nothing for Jibby Storm. Nothing for Ranheim. Freak Gronk has got nothing either. And Maze has got nothing. Everyone else, apart from Passels and Rock City further down the field, have got penalties. Passels and Rock City don't. Speaking of Rock City, he's on the back of Passels. Coming through turn 19. At 26 out of 31. God, I wish everyone was watching this. As Rock City on the back of Passels. Through the final corner he comes. It's been a disastrous race for Rock City in terms of strategy calls, in terms of just spinning that on track twice. But now he's got to try and get a top 10 finish recovered out of this. And now closes up on Passels up towards turn 4. Just use up a slight little bit of overtake mode to try and get onto the back. Tries to force Passels. It looks a lot more cleaner on the power there. Passels out of the corner. Is Rock City going to close up enough? No is the answer, and Passels will hold on for P10, P11 out on track for now. But I think Rock City will eventually. Oh, as he nearly goes into the back of him, and that just cost him a whole heap of time. Out on track and now puts Passels back into 10th position. Rock City there in 11th. Jeffrey 12th, Salas in 13th. Jeffrey's AI car, by the way, going around there in 12th. If he wants to rejoin, of course, he can pick up the points. Jarus leading the way. 8.8 seconds is the gap. So that man there, Jibby Storm, who in theory is going to win his 4th race of the championship, 4 in a row as well. As he tries to chase down Salas, that's his teammate just ahead of him out on track, who has been lapped. Jack Reese leading. Jimmy Storm in 2nd. Gap's going back out again for Jack Reese. You can see him just using up as much overtake mode as possible. That's why the gap is coming back out. But Jimmy Storm is in that zone, I think, where Jack Roos, even if he uses up all of his ERS, does not have a chance now out on track. Sammy King, by the way, is back into the pit lane to put on a fresh set of softs, going for a fast slap attempt. Passels now under pressure from Rock City, and this is for 9th. Passels, Rock City, having a good race, good battle between these two. And yeah, Job Storm there in the comment section. This is crazy. This is completely crazy. Is Rock City going to go for the move on Passels? No. Simple as that. No is the answer to that. He could go for the move now around the outside through turn 7. He goes to the inside now through turn 7. Great move by Rock City. Passel saw him coming, and on older tyres you normally don't see an overtake like that. Rock City through. Easily done. And he's through and he's up into 9th. Passel trying to fight back down into Singapore Sling. But Rock City through and he's up into 9th position out on track. Really, really good racing there As now the leaders have just started lap 28. 4 more to go here out on track tonight. Passels has picked up, Silas, I should say, has picked up a penalty there out on track. And that now puts him in an unpromising position. That is him out of the race. So Silas out of the race, out on track. And that is a retirement in the pit lane from Silas there. Sammy Kane, Jeffrey, nothing really much going on. Rock City now pulling out the gap. So we'll focus on the leader for now. Jack Roos. 8 seconds the gap. We're about halfway through the lap now here in Singapore. And Jack Roos leads. Lap 28 and a half if you are being picky. Jack Roos leading. But look at that gap coming down. Ranheim has just left the session from 3rd on the grid. 3rd position currently, Ranheim. And his AI car is 7.3 seconds ahead of Freak Rock. Now these guys can only rejoin once, remember. The change up in the rules stating that it can only rejoin once. Ranheim needs an invite first of all to get back into the session. I really don't want to give him an invite, to be honest, because it's up to Invictus if he's still here, as he's just joined back. Somebody... Oh! Goodness me! Somebody is giving him back the invite there, which is good to see. God, that sneeze came from nowhere. First time I've done that on stream in a while. Jack Roos leads, 6.6 seconds, 3 laps to go. Here in Singapore, changeable Singapore. Of course, from Inters back to Dries. And Jimmy Storm is going for the 4th win in a row. I think, I'm not going to put him in the same breath as Medium Pilot, but I might in terms of the performance out on track so far, because Jimmy Storm, his performances this season, win, and potentially win here tonight, of course, in Singapore, really brings about a real changing of the guard, I think, in Division 5. And look where Maze is. He's down in 5th. Jimmy Storm, from really unpromising position early on in the race, where he was behind Maze and things like that, he judged the strategy call to absolute perfection coming into the pit lane. So did Jack Roos, so did Freak Gronk and the likes, and Jimmy Storm now possibly going for a potential 4th win in a row out on track. And as I say, the only man I think that has done that to some sort of that extent is Medium Pilot, I think, last season in Division 1 of TTML. I will hold him in the same breath as Medium Pilot from Division 1. Jack Roos leading the way. You love to see racing like this. Everyone is just spaced out like a good spacey thing out on track. So there's not really much to commentate on, so we'll continue to focus on this battle, well, this potential battle towards the end of the race. Jack Roos very close to the wall there, trying to eke out every last bit of track performance on that car. Passes his first 3-second time penalty of the night. Jack Roos through the final 2 corners to start the penultimate lap. The gap, with Ranheim rejoining the session, is 5.5 seconds coming across the line. So 5.5 seconds. Ranheim is probably about a further 8 seconds back. No, 6 seconds in fact. What does the commentator know? Freak Gronk, however, is going to be about another further 7.5, 8 seconds back, I think. Yeah, 8 seconds dead on. Maze is going to be about 4 seconds back, I think, from Freak Gronk. Yeah, 4.6 seconds out on track. Nothing really going on, as I say. It is Jack Roos's race to lose at this stage. It's Jimmy Storm races to win as well. But with just 1 more lap to go after this one, it's been a crazy race here in Singapore. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. My voice is still somehow staying here until the end of the race. My 3rd solo commentary of the week, and if you ever thought of a commentator to try and commit to that, then yeah, honestly, it's been an absolute privilege this week. Division 1, of course, Keane McGinley doing the Challenger Series, Luke Etheridge not being available, I had to do it then. Division 2, last night, Mike had internet problems again. He wasn't available, so I had to do that. And then Division 5, Dan taking care of his brother. And I had to do this by myself as well. But committed to the cause here in TTML and on League Racing TV. Of course, I am your head commentator for TTML, and it's been an absolute privilege this season so far. We have still got one more lap to go in this race. Jack Roos needs a miracle out on track. He needs a miracle, really, from both Jimmy Storm and Ranheim. Those tyres are now shot, completely gone off the cliff. He's going to try and make them go another lap. Onto the final lap we go with Jack Roos leading the way from Jibby Storm in second. 3.7 seconds the gap down in towards turn 1. Ranheim there in third, 6.2. Freak Ronk in fourth. Mays just beginning to fall off the cliff slightly with those tyres in fifth. And it's going to be interesting to see. I think Jack Roos will have a podium interview. I think it might be the first time this season when we get all 3 drivers possibly in for a podium interview. I'm in a party, by the way, with Jibby Storm. If you heard that interview early on, I'm in a party with him. So he can just join back, literally, after this race. He'll be honestly joining back, I think, within the first 20 seconds of that race finishing, if I've got to be honest. But Jack Roos leading the way. He is trying to hang on for grim life. He will win it out on track as long as these tyres do not go in the final half a lap or so here in Singapore. The Marina Bay Street Circuit has really tested these drivers. The trials and tribulations of this circuit has found a few out. Salas, Bart, Invictus and Day Miles, to name but a few. And Jack Roos, there is Jibby Storm. Another couple of laps, Jibby Storm is going to be right on the back. Jack Roos can hold back. He will win this race out on track as long as those tyres keep going for him. He will win this race out on track, but unfortunately for him, it's going to be a case where he could finish in P3. Jack Roos now towards the final couple of corners, through 18 and 19 for the final time underneath the grandstand. And then through turns 20 and 21. It has been a phenomenal drive from Jack Roos out on track. The penalties are going to find him out in the end. Round the final corner comes Jack Roos. He will win out on track here in Singapore. The fireworks go off, but it is Jibby Storm who takes the race win. 4 wins in a row for the Dutchman. Ranheim crosses the line in second. In fact, Jack Roos has finished third, a tenth of a second off Ranheim in the end. Freak Ronk is going to be crossing the line here in fourth, 20.3 seconds off the pace, but he crosses the line to finish in fourth, gains as a result. Mays finishing in fifth. Schmitsky coming across the line to finish in sixth. Torenheim is going to come across the line to finish in seventh. Picks up a load of penalties, so Nilsson might jump him here. Nilsson across the line finishes seventh. Rock City, my voice is going, as you can tell. Rock City, disastrous race from him, from his standards, getting caught up in incidents, spinning under the safety car. He crosses the line in ninth. Parcells will come across the line to finish in P10. Satmi King and Jeffrey will wait on to finish across the line. Of course, Satmi King will be the only other one to finish. Fastest lap point, by the way, going Schmitsky's way. 38.3 is the fastest lap, unless Satmi King could put a 38.3 on the table here. He won't though. Satmi King ran the final corner and he finishes across the line to finish in 11th position out on track. And that is the race over and done with here in Singapore. And a fantastic race indeed. Driver of the day, voted by the in-game fans, is Freak Ronk. Freak Ronk is awarded in-game driver of the day. As we come to the podium celebrations. Eventually we will get to the podium celebrations. Terrific job by Jibby Storm, of course, out on track. And there is the man, the myth, the legend of Division 5. He is now top of the standings once again, a 4th race win in a row. He didn't like his chances coming into tonight's race, but he has done absolute justice out on track. And second position, of course, going the way of Jack Roos, who drove really well, and Schmitsky, of course, delivering a good performance there out on track as well. But we'll get that top 3 for you now, and probably just had the wrong top 3 there as well. It is Jibby Storm who takes the race win by 9.7 seconds, commanding in the end from Ranheim in second. Jack Roos in third, only a tenth of a second off Ranheim in third there. Freak Ronk in fourth, with Mays in fifth, Schmitsky sixth, Nilsson seventh, Torenheim in eighth, Rock City in ninth, Parcells running off the top 10. With Satmi King, Jeffrey's AI card does pick up points in 12th, but because he didn't finish as a human finisher, essentially he doesn't finish the race, and therefore those points will count. Salas, Bart, Invictus and Day Miles all out of the race. And now you will see a beautiful blue screen as I now invite the top 3 into the party here. Oh, my voice really going towards the end of the race there, but I will try and get these interviews done, we will get the other two in. Jibby Storm, I know, has just joined the party here. He will not be heard, though, by me as I'm on a blue screen. But let me get in the other two out on track. We do have interviews indeed, Mr. Jibby Storm. I see you have arrived in the party here. Just going to invite in Ranheim and Jack Roos. Hopefully we'll get interviews from both of them as well. But a fantastic race, of course, here in Singapore. We do it all over again, of course, next week in Japan. The final weeks before, the final races, in fact, for the divisions before Christmas and the New Year break. I know, Christmas, New Year break, TTML, absolutely mad. Out on track. Let's get Jack Roos in as well. And just give me 2 seconds. Jibby Storm is hanging on for grim life, I'm sure. He is desperate to talk to me about his interview. Let's get Jack Roos in. And there we are. Get back on the game. Right, Jibby Storm has now joined me in the commentary box after a sensational 4th win in a row. Jibby Storm, masterclass of the strategy. Talk us through your race.
Hello, James. Again, hello again. Yeah, the rain. It was very unexpected. It started raining, and I got into intermediates, and I had a 5-second time penalty with Smitsky and Mace, because Mace had to brake for the pit lane, and Smitsky too, and I hit him, but the penalty was gone already when I was in the pit. Oh, amazing race. This is one of my most. I enjoyed this one. I really did. And GG's to Jet Roos, man. He did a great strategy.
Yeah, Jet Roos certainly delivered out on track, but you take the spoils, of course. Your 4th win in a row. You're now extending that championship lead as well. That must feel good going into Japan next week.
It feels very good. Very good. Oh, but I think I looked at all the podiums from Division 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. And I think I'm from Division 5. I'm from all of the divisions in this game. I'm the first one to get 4 wins in a row.
You are, and I have held you in high regard tonight because I've compared you to Medium Pilot last season in Division 1, who obviously went on a big winning streak. I think won 6 out of the 11 races last season in Division 1. I hold you in that regard now. You have done it. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I now hold you in the highest esteem out on track in Division 5.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, but it's still, it's always amazing. Every time you win a race or you get a podium, the feeling is so amazing.
It is indeed, and 4th time in a row winning. I cannot stop saying that. 4th time winning in a row. It just sounds good, doesn't it? It just sounds really good.
It sounds very good.
May's coming in with a comment in the comment section there as well. Safety car off, he says. Safety car, I think, really spiced up things. Obviously, Nulson, I'm not sure if you're aware, spun under the safety car restart. I think it was the 2nd safety car restart. He spun under the safety car. How were the changeable conditions out there, first and foremost? But did you see what happened with him?
No, I did not see what happened. I thought, why is he going into the pits? Because he had a great strategy with his intermediates. He was one of the first, I think, to go on intermediates. Yeah, and yeah, the weather was very weird. Where I got on to the intermediates, I struggled a little bit to get into the feeling, and then my Jeff, he actually said go on the mediums this lap, and I said why not do it, and I got into the pits, yeah, and I pushed as hard as I could, but then I think it was Stoenheim who was in front of me on the intermediates, and he was going a bit slow, so I had to wait behind him. So, and I thought, no, I just lost this position to Mace and Smitsky, but I did not, and then I saw the 11-second gap, and penalty points from Jet Roos. Yeah. And I thought, I'm gonna push, just push, and I pushed, and I now I'm here.
Now you're here. Exactly. Literally, this is going to be a common theme. I may as well invite you in every week before the start of the stream, like the start of the stream proper and the start of the race and everything. I may as well invite you in all week. I know Dan hasn't been alongside me, so it's been really nice to talk to you more in depth. And going into Japan next week, how do you feel you're going to get on around there? Can you make it the most impossible 5 in a row?
I don't know, and we will see. Again, I can't. Yeah. But still, James, when you comment, it's amazing. You're the best commentator of TTG, I have to say.
I'm the best.
Commentators. You're the best. You're just the best.
There we are, Dan. If you are listening in, yeah, I've got a recommendation from our Division 5 future champion possibly here. Yeah. You're not coming for my job that easy, Dan, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're going to be joined by Ranheim and Jack Roos, but looking out in the comment section as well, great strategy call, Freak Gronk telling you there in the comment section. He had to drive those last laps with a bit of end plate damage as well. And next season, Division 4?
Oh, is it my brother?
It might be your brother in that, yeah.
Yeah, that's my brother. Yeah, I don't know. We will see. When do you go from Division 5 to Division 4?
If you win the championship, it's as simple as that. So if you win the championship, you promote it up.
Oh, okay.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the front 2 or the front 3 get promoted up from each division.
Okay. We will see.
So it remains to be seen. Yeah, it does remain to be seen.
You want to know what the funniest thing is?
Yeah.
Just after the interview at the start of the race, I looked at the chat and I saw my teacher. She's watching now, and that's the most funniest thing.
There we are. I'm now going to be famous at your school tomorrow. Oh no, actually not tomorrow because it's Saturday.
Not tomorrow. Yeah, it's
Goodness
Saturday.
me. What am I thinking? I'm thinking it's Friday tomorrow. It's Friday tonight. Goodness me. Anyways.
James, no alcohol with commentating, eh?
No alcohol with commentary. No, I've had, honestly, diluted juice all evening. There you go. The preparation of a commentator right there. But we could talk, honestly, for probably weeks and months, but I'm probably going to get kicked off the air just now by Maze. So we will wrap it up here. Jibby has got quite a big fan base here in the south of the Netherlands, according to your brother. Yeah, according to your brother, you do.
Oh, no. Very nice.
Now he does. That school is going to be bouncing for you on Monday, honestly. There's just going to be a lesson. TTML, how to drive in TTML. That's going to be the first lesson of the day, and you're just going to hear my commentary for the first hour and a half of that session.
Yeah. So, teacher, if you're listening, that's the first lesson.
Yeah, put it on. Cut down the highlights. Plenty of fans there for you, but I'm going to have to end it here. Please stay safe in this crazy, crazy world, of course, that we all live in. I know the coronavirus is still going about there. Please stay safe. Please keep tuning in to TTML. Without you guys tuning in, without these drivers here, they do not deliver the action, and you do not deliver the content and the fine commentary that we produce, of course, on the channel. And we are all in this together. But for myself and Jibby Storm, we wish you very much a good night. Thank you so much for watching here in TTML Division 5. And until next week in Japan, goodbye.